knows how to deliver indeed. We had a little discussion. Is it Postman or Postman?
Postman.
Singular.
Sterling and Nitish here from Postman.
Man.
Okay. And I use it all the time. Like, I remember using it. There's a lot of features in there. I love the collections. I love the collaboration. But for those that don't know what Postman is, why don't you give us a little introduction?
Yeah, so if you've lived under a rock, well, here it is. Postman is an API platform that allows you to build, document, and test your APIs in a collaborative environment.
Yeah, and the reality is that almost all of software now is moving into an API-first world, and Postman really dove into that.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Postman, we firmly believe in the API-first world. Everything is going API-first world, especially now with AI being everywhere.
Yeah.
That as long as your API is there, it should be, you can be doing it and working and building in it on Postman.
Yeah, and the thing about it is the API, like APIs are kind of opaque sometimes, and so the fact that you can go into Postman and you can actually put the APIs in there, put all of the variables, get stuff out is really nice. And I'm sure there's a lot of people using this stuff. But one of the things that people think about when it comes to APIs is this notion of security. So what are you doing to help out with that?
Yeah, well, as part of our V11 release that just happened, I'm really happy to introduce, we have Postman Vault.
Oh.
And that is our secure way of storing all of your API secrets on your local environment and being able to call them across the application and across your workspaces. So the cool part about Postman Vault is that in the API development world, securing your secrets is so important.
Right.
But, you know, how many times have we inadvertently saved our API keys, committed them to GitHub?
Stop calling me out, Sterling. Just stop calling me out. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we've all done it. And so with Postman Vault, you can keep all of that stored locally, encrypted on your machine, and easily access them across your workspaces.
So I feel like I kind of want to see this in action. So you brought a little clip. So
Yeah.
why don't we get the clip here and let's see if we can put it down here. And then Sterling, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, so obviously this is Postman, and in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see Postman Vault. This is how we open up and actually start your building into Vault. You can copy your API key or copy your Vault key, download it, and then right here, I'm going to put my secret in, which is my OpenAI API key, and I'll paste it. And when I go back to my request, the new syntax, instead of having it saved as an environment variable, now I'm saved in my local Vault, and I can call it. And in this case, I'm going to hit send, and there you go. It's all there encrypted on your machine. And because we also know that so many people use third-party vaults, we also have integrations with Azure Key Vault, AWS Secrets Manager,
Right.
HashiCorp, and coming soon, 1Password. Sorry.
I mean, this is cool stuff. So can I ask a couple of questions about this
Absolutely.
as we're looking at this? So if I'm sharing, because like the hardest thing to do is share password or share secrets correctly. How does this work in a team environment? I know you mentioned Azure Key Vault and others, but what does it look like if you're doing this as a team?
Well, when you're on a team, anytime you use a vault, you can share that password with them, but once it's shared, it stays masked. So I can share my API key with you, and you won't see it, but you can access it, which is really, really cool. It gets blocked on your console logs and on any code snippets that come out. So you'll never have to worry about inadvertently sharing your API keys.
And so if I'm working as a team of developers, because I've had Postman on the local box and then the Postman on the web, and the cool thing is the notion of sharing. What does sharing look like? Like if I put my key in the vault, is it a local thing? Or is it something that we can put online? Do we have to use these third-party services?
Yeah, you can use the third-party services, and they are domain restrict. You can domain restrict them, which is also really powerful. So I can at Postman, anyone with an @postman.com email address can use my keys.
And this is in all of the collections that you may set up for various and sundry things.
And workspaces. So you don't have to copy and paste your API keys or secrets across workspaces. It is so no longer needing to copy and paste. It's accessible across the board.
So it's been a while since I've used Postman, obviously.
Yeah.
So there's this notion of workspaces and collections. Can you tell me the difference between them and then what it looks like when you're sharing these kind of secrets?
Yeah, so you have a workspace. You can have a private workspace, or you can have a shared workspace. Now, shared workspaces are collaborative in origin. So I can have my team in there with me, and we can go back and forth. We can collaborate on an API. I can have my private workspace, and then you can have a public workspace. So if you want to, if you're a company and you're sharing your stuff, you want to share your APIs with the rest of the world, you can do that as well.
Oh, I mean, this is cool. Like I said, I write like AI Python code and stuff, and so the APIs, I'm usually making them, but enabling people to use my APIs in a safe way with this vault is awesome. Now, Nitish, we've been hogging all your time.
Sure.
Tell us about like people getting started with Postman. I bet there's some like things that are hard to do, but how are you helping them?
Sure. So I think, and we've identified this, that APIs are not one and done sort of projects,
Yeah.
right? These are hard projects with longer life cycles. And this is when we want to help our users through Postbot. And Postbot is basically an AI assistant within Postman that helps the users within the journey of, the API lifecycle and the API journey. And so the whole goal of Postbot is to increase developer productivity. And the areas that Postbot works well in the ecosystem is around generating API tests, generating API documentations, helping the users do expert debugging. It can help you visualize your responses. It can also help you provide expert AI support. So in case you are finding a little hard to navigate through Postman, Postbot is there to help you as well. And
there's more.
And with 𝗲𝗏11, both our enterprise and non-enterprise users get access to Postbot. And we've also partnered with the Azure OpenAI team to make sure that the availability hits the enterprise-grade standards, the security is hardened up, and the entire interactions are isolated. So yeah, a lot of goodies coming your way through Postbot.
It's like having a friendly advisor over the shoulder saying, here you go, this is how you do this. Because, I mean, even if you're the most ardent API developer, there's still things that you're going to forget. I mean, I call it, web-driven development, where we go and search on Stack Overflow, but having Postbot will definitely help. I understand you brought a demo for us?
Yeah, sure. So,
all right, let's cue it up. What do we got here?
Yeah, so once again, this is our Postbot, and it lives in the bottom right. Now, the cool thing with 𝗲𝗏11 is that we have a new agent that was released, and it can do multiple things at the same time. So in this case, I'm asking Postbot to add tests and documentation to this request. And in a matter of seconds, I have fully tested and fully documented this API. And the cool part about this is I can go through, I'm gonna look at the documentation. This looks good. It's giving me the request or the response schema, giving me information on the request. And now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna review the tests. Now, ideally, you want your response time to be under 200 milliseconds, but in this case, I'm gonna adjust the time to 800 milliseconds. And we have it looks like a duplicated test, no problem. But the cool part about this is you can do one click, but similar to what we have if you've used Copilot in the past, you know your business or you know your business better than anyone else. So I'm gonna ask Postbot to write an API contract test for this response, and it grays out. It gives me what it thinks it's gonna do, similar to Copilot, and then hit Tab, and now I've saved it and it's there. And the last part about this is Nitish talked about is being able to visualize your large JSON objects. I hate parsing through large JSON objects.
Yeah.
It's impossible sometimes. So with the help of Postbot, I can visualize this as a table, and immediately I can read through it. And so if you're a non-developer looking at this for the first time, you hit send, the code's there, you see the visualized as a table, and it's just that easy. I can parse through it without having to understand JSON.
I mean, this is great. Like, I'm looking at this screen, and not only am I getting help to write because those tests all Postbot wrote.
yeah.
Yep.
Everyone loves writing tests. That's not true. This is not true. I know I'm a dev. I'm just kidding. So the fact that Postbot was able to write them for you. What are some other things that Postbot can do to help out as you're working?
So one of the workflows that we have identified and where teams struggle is that while you're building these APIs, you want your front end to be unblocked. And while you do that, you don't know how to set up a mock server within Postman. So if you just ask this prompt to Postbot, then Postbot will help you set up the mock server and provide you that expert support on how to use other things within Postman, navigate through that part well. And you can, while you build your APIs, your front-end team is unblocked and they can continue with their own work. So Postbot is present where the users want it to be, right? So that's the best part about Postbot and how we are trying to build that.
So tell me a little bit more, because I understood a little bit. You're saying that with Postbot, because obviously the front-end engineers need, and I've done this, in fact, I literally did this on Friday because I was building some multi-agent thing, and I had fake API, and I just had JSON that I respond, and I had to write that. You're saying that Postbot can do something like that to help you?
So if you've written those fake examples, the correct word there is examples and not fake there.
Yeah.
So if the contract is what you have ironed out, then you can set those contracts up within Postman, and Postbot can help you set up the mock server without any code, right? So it won't do it for you, but it will help you guide through the exact steps so that you can follow it and you can set it up.
Yeah, but that's actually way better than whatever goofy thing I was doing, which was fake JSON response that's similar shape, but I may, for the front-end developer, I may not be helping them because the shape might be something that I guess, but there may be a ton of other contracts that Postbot can help you get started building something that gives good responses.
Yeah, so the core areas in all of this is primarily focused on making sure that your testing, your documentation, and how you want to make sure that your APIs are reliable, how your end users are consuming them, whether it's internal to your team or external, they're able to navigate through that situation. And Postbot makes sure that all the mundane activities, the boring parts of building an API, those things are taken care of.
Tell me more about the documentation. How does it help there?
So, so there are two entry points for Postbot to help with your documentation. So if you open the site navigation bar and if you don't have any documentation, that's usually the case, you can click on...
They keep calling me out. They're calling me out. Bad tests, bad docs, it's all... Yes, thank you. Sorry, keep going.
No, so...
Call me out.
Yeah, so you click on either the Generate Postbot button there, or you can actually open up Postbot from the bottom navigation bar, enter in that you want to write the documentations, add some emojis for good measure, and Postbot will be able to generate that for you.
Man, I'm going to be so productive here that it's... So tell me about, in general, how are people finding success with Postman, and how do you foresee them finding success now with the additions of PostVault and Postbot? Sterling?
So with Postbot and with Vault, success is collaboration.
Yeah.
Now you have an AI assistant with Postman or with Postbot that can help you pair program. It's going to sit there and help you, ensure that your tests are accurate, your APIs are ready to go and ready to be shared with the rest of the world. Because an internal API is okay, but an externally facing API that others can access, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Especially in the AI world.
And especially having the security of knowing that you've tested this well, that you've been able to do it faster with Postbot, and they've been able to build documentation. Tell us more about the success that people are finding with this.
No, I think security is a core principle against which whatever we do at Postman, it's important for us. And both with vaults, where we give the users the ability to mask their keyword, their secrets, their API keys, or with Postbot, where we are partnering with Azure and the OpenAI team under that gambit to make sure that the entire environment is isolated. We provide more moderation for the requests. That's something that we are really proud of.
And if you want to talk about success,
yes.
So one of our early adopters in enterprise, they actually, in the first month of adopting Postbot, their test went from 7% of across the board to 41%.
Whoa.
And one of their users said that Postbot has become the main tester for their team. Because it's so quick, you can just one click, add documentation, one click, add tests. You can add more tests. And because you know your business logic better than anyone else, they went in and put all of that business logic, did API fuzzing testing, pen testing, all of it. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's really good. Thank you so much for being with us, Sterling Nitish. You can find out more about Postbot and Vault by visiting the Featured Partner Directory. To find out more, make sure you take a look. There's amazing partners there that have amazing things. More after this.